welcome to another video for South Carolina living. And this is what it's like living with a well system, pump system. We had just built this building and put in all new equipment and filters and everything in here. If you watch that video, that will be under our building video section. But yeah, 2 years to the month, and the water pump went out. So we had to install a new one. So now we're waiting for the PVC stuff to dry so that we can test it all for leaks and see if it's gonna work. It's kind of a bummer, but that's what we end up doing while we're on self-quarantine. Alright, this is the old water pump that we had in there that we had to yank out and cut out. It's actually leaking from inside here. It was just pumping out water, and when we would kick on the water, it would actually spit out of here onto my brand new drywall, which I didn't like. So we yanked it out. We're going to see if there's supposed to be some kind of a resealing kit or a repair kit for these. If so, we can reuse this one here at a later date if we need to, but I've already invested the money in a new one right now, so I'm going to let that one fly. In the meantime, we have been taking care of yard work and stuff, because that's all you can really do when you're self-quarantined. We've got the riding lawnmower. The belts came in for that, so I was able to put the belt on, also change the front axle on it, because mine was all warped out because we have so many big old holes and things in the yard. When you hit them with the lawnmower, just rounds out the these little mounts on these. So I got a whole new front end on there pretty much now, and ran it around the yard. And this, of course, is our big old beast, the family's rototiller. Call her Old Blue, and she is a beast. We just got done getting the garden prepped for planting for the season. As you probably saw in the last video, we had a whole bunch of weeds that we were digging up, and my wife did. I didn't dig up any. She got them with a claw and dug them all up so there wouldn't be any roots in there. And then we scraped all those out, and then I just got done doing my 10 minutes worth of work here and rototilling this up. And now we're just going to need a little bit of leveling, make our walkways and pathways in there. We don't typically do, the traditional mounds. I know this one here is a mound on this side, but that's more because of necessity. Because this side here, whenever it rains, it floods over to this side and it puddles up, and we didn't want to over water the garlic that are all in here, even though that seems like that's still the problem. But yeah, so if anybody knows anything about gardening, this is some really, really dark dirt. You can see regular dirt is like that color, because that's where the ants dig it up. This is good soil. This is for planting. And yeah, we're going to be getting ready to put some stuff in the ground, which will be really good. We did pick up a couple more grape plants this year, which I was hoping to get some seedless grapes in the last couple batches, and we didn't get any. So this time we bought two seedless, one green, one purple or red. We're going to plant those for the beginning of this season. Asparagus. That's what we got here. We got some asparagus. There's one here growing. There's a couple of clumps here and here, and some farther down there. There's supposed to be a couple different clumps in here. I think my wife even planted some more seeds in here, just so that they'll get better off. It actually takes asparagus 3 years, which is where we're at about now, to start maturing to where it produces like this all the time. So that's where we're at with that. Inside this box here is one of our newer boxes. We have the peanut plants, and then we're going to be transplanting strawberries as they make babies to transfer over here. On this end of this box is where we have the strawberries. Don't know if you can see them in there, so let's take a peekaboo in there, as you can see. And yep, there are all of our strawberry plants are in here. And Yeah, the one closest to that yellow basket there, that's the old one that was in this other box that we had to transport over here. But these are the plants that we got. And then on this end is the new plants that we bought that were the roots, which we've never tried before. So we're waiting to see. I see some grass popping through, but maybe some strawberries are popping through. I just got to wait till the leaves get bigger to where I can actually identify them. But I do see some little pieces of grass and stuff. So, you know, that's always good too. At least something's growing. We've got this area here. It's got all the wood chips on it still. We're going to be putting all of our vining things over here, our watermelons, our pumpkins, our squashes, anything that got vines and needs a lot more room and chokes out everything else around it, we're going to put over here. We've got our original grape plants over here, and trimmed it back, and yeah, now it's starting to grow again. It wants to be happy and it wants to grow across here. I still have to buy a board that goes across this beam, or beam to go across that trellis to this trellis support to keep them apart, because it's I didn't think that the plant was that heavy, but this actually bows down these wires really low, and I had to support them all with sticks. Just crazy. But this is a seeded purple grape or green grape, and this is a purple grape, but it's a muscadine, so it also has seeds. So I went through all this work doing this and buying these things, and they actually have seeds. So what did we do? We went out today and we bought 2 plants of seedless, and we made sure that they said seedless on the package this time. And we're going to plant them. I wanted to rip out this one here and plant it there, but my wife's not too happy with that. What we may end up doing is putting another trellis beam over here, and then putting the other 2 grapes over there, so that this corner, being that this is the last spot that the sun hits, it won't block anything, you know, from the sun, from the daytime sun, and then we could put the other 2 grapes here or something. We'll see how it works, because the deer like the grape leaves, but I can't shoot the deer from my porch through the garden to get to them when they're over here eating this. So what we'll have to do is we'll trim off some of the grape leaves and pile them up over here where I can shoot the deer, and where I shot 2 deer last year. So we'll try that. Fig tree's coming in nice. Still got to cut that back so that it'll not hit the fence this year. These are all of our tomato baskets, well, any kind of baskets. We're going to use them for the peppers that we have and everything else. We do have our blueberry and raspberry bushes over there. They look like they're flowering, so that's a good thing. But yeah, we've got our garlics all the way here. We got carrots over there. We planted some additional carrots in there, in between there, and my wife aerated the ground some with a big fork. Just poked a whole bunch of holes in there to aerate it out. I guess that's supposed to help. For me, I rototilled this. We're going to kind of level it out, like I said, and make some little walkways, and you know, while the ground is nice and soft, plant the stuff we got in there. Most of the stuff that I want is above ground stuff, so the ground has to be a little firmer, you know, compacted around it. Last year we had some peppers here. They didn't produce as well as I liked. They were really happier over there. So I may try to get mine all in just one row over here. That way it doesn't take up the rest of the garden. And we'll see about that. We did leave the one lonely plant over here that my wife wants for seeds is over there. And yeah, we'll see if it gives her the seeds she wants. We have these areas here that we can plant, you know, pretty much whatever we want. We had purple sweet potatoes in these before, and right now we just have them all mulched over so that it keeps the weeds down. But like I said, we're getting all our baskets ready, all our stick poles, baskets, everything ready for the planting. And this area here can also be used for planting, you know, stuff that's underground, potatoes or something like that. But we may actually just continue on with more of the raised beds and do a couple of those over here. My wife wants to do the artichokes again, so maybe do a couple of rows of artichokes instead of just the couple over here, and they may survive better if they're in a box. So we'll look into that. And then we just have all of our old carpets and tarps and anything we could find to lay down here on the walkway to keep all the wonderful leaves and grass from growing. But you can see it still grows on the edges of it. So. Then outside the garden over here, we've got our peach tree, and it's blossoming. And it had peaches last year. We did not get to eat any of them. Some birds and some deer did get to enjoy them. I guess we have to wait a couple of seasons before they grow and they actually will stay on, because they grew to a certain size and they fell off onto the ground, which didn't help. And then we've got 3 more fig trees, fig bushes, whatever they want to call them. They're kind of bushes now that are growing. This one here is probably about, at the tallest leaf there is about 6 feet. This center one here is probably about 7 feet to the height of the little stick that's way up about this level right here. And then we've got another small one over here. Now 2 of these are the same, and then one of these is different, but one of these we actually broke a piece of this one off to start this one from one of these. And we had to have 2 different types because they have to, you know, we needed that for pollination or something. They said you got to mix them, so that's what we did. And yeah, we actually got some figs last year, hoping to get a lot more this year. And yeah, so that's what we're doing while we're on self-quarantine here. We're enjoying what God's blessed us with. And we're going to grow some stuff, and hopefully God will bless us in that as He has the last 3 years. So, you know, guys, keep on checking back. You know, see what we got going on, see what we got growing. Hopefully you guys enjoy the videos. If you don't enjoy the videos, you should just enjoy the scenery. The beautiful trees, the blue sky. You know, it is actually blue out here, not like it was back in California, that gray. And trees all the way around that are starting to get their leaves on them and filling in, and birds chirping and butterflies flying. It's wonderful out here, I tell you. All right, well, I got some weed whacking to do. Probably do that tomorrow. Whew, because it's getting a little warm out here. But please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff as you usually do. And as always, we'll talk to you later.